In the scorching desert, where every step intensified under the blazing sun, she vanished without a hint. No one broadcast her name over the comms. No one spotted her silhouette on the shifting dunes. But when the initial burst of bullets ripped through the breeze, the troops remained standing because the foes collapsed before grasping the situation. She was positioned above sightlines, beyond hearing range, more ruthless than the blazing sands. When the unit pushed forward unscathed, they attributed it to fortune. Only at twilight did they grasp that their survival was bought by her unseen presence. The sands extended like a sea paused in motion. Waves of heat ascended from the hills in unseen pillars, distorting light until distances turned into estimates. Staff Sergeant Derek Holloway brushed perspiration from his brow and re-examined his chart. The watering hole indicated on the orbital photo was 3 kilometers northeast, but such images failed to capture how winds erased features in hours. They overlooked how thermal layers produced illusory edges, or how crystals in the soil mirrored sunlight in ways that imitated figures in motion. "Wind strengthening," noted Corporal James Riley, peering at the skyline. His skin was already reddened despite the lotion slathered on at daybreak. "Half an hour, perhaps less, before sightlines blur," Derek affirmed with a nod. The operation outline had labeled this a basic survey. Inspect the deserted outpost, verify its vacancy, set up an advance base. Basic. Yet nothing in the wasteland was straightforward. The blaze itself could be fatal. Factor in the gusts, the changing ground, the erratic way noise traveled, and basic evolved into endurance. He'd witnessed troops succumb to thirst despite loaded water bottles. The barren land commanded reverence. It penalized overconfidence. The gauge on his gear showed 42 degrees Celsius. Under direct rays, bare steel might hit 70. Graze your gun's tube thoughtlessly, and the scorch would raise welts right away. The atmosphere felt dense, a tangible force on bare flesh. Trailing them, 8 additional fighters inspected their equipment. Specialist Nathan Brooks tweaked his sling. Private First Class Marcus Chen secured his load. They operated with the precision of comrades who drilled as one, but this marked their initial assignment to this zone. The regional rebels knew every crease in the terrain, every cavern, every entry path. Derek engaged his communicator. "Command, this is Reaper 16, heading to Marker Alpha, arrival in 40 minutes. Interference buzzed. "Acknowledged, Reaper 16, conditions worsening, proceed carefully." He offered no reply. Care was implicit. He gestured his squad onward. What escaped their notice was that 600 meters northwest, atop a crest they'd bypassed earlier, an observer peered through optics. She'd held station since pre-dawn, when chill lingered near zero and celestial glow sufficed for excavating her spot. Now, with the orb ascending to its peak, her concealment blended seamlessly, a hollow in the grains, veiled by a masking web sprinkled with native dirt, framed by stone that disrupted her outline. She monitored their progress sans wireless link. Her respiration was regulated, timed amid pulses. The firearm nearby was calibrated for this span, this height, this draft. She discharged 3 bullets at first light, compensating for the warmth-induced shift from rising heat. The empty shells lay interred 2 feet deep. The group below advanced in a rhombus array, standard but foreseeable. She noted their gaps, their sweep routines, how the lead favored his starboard flank. Solid regimen, yet they relied on drills over landscape. The arid zone favored suspicion, not protocol. Via her lens, she observed Derek lift his arm. The group halted. Sharp senses. He'd detected an anomaly, likely the disrupted grains ahead, faint imprints defying breeze flows. They were adapting, but adaptation wouldn't suffice. Her identifier appeared solely in sealed files accessible to a trio of cleared individuals. On records, she was Monitor 7. In reality, she was non-existent. No duty history via routine paths, no kin on crisis lists, no online trail, no electronic mark beyond essentials for her niche role. Even her health logs were segmented, housed in setups needing biological verification and twin approvals. She'd devoted 14 years to fading away, initially in regimens that drove aspirants beyond limits crafted by mental experts and elite warriors. The vetting spanned 18 months. 93 began. 21 cleared the opening stage of core shooting and wilderness skills. 12 endured the mental probe, where assessors hunted for vanity, acclaim cravings, any flaw in independence armor. 4 completed the closing stage, lone ventures in adversary zones, sans aid, sans escape strategy, mission as sole guide. She alone persisted operational this long. The role suited a specific type, one who could witness allies perish sans shifting, dwell in grime for weeks, grasp that fame and acclaim opposed endurance. Beyond that, it needed one who bore the mental burden of utter isolation. No cheers for triumphs, no solace for defeats, merely the next perch, the next sweep, the next mute watch. Her true identity ceased relevance. She'd entombed it beside the ordinary soul who'd once claimed it, the female who'd laughed boisterously and believed readily. That entity perished on a Kandahar rooftop in a botched task, learning visibility equaled vulnerability. Obscurity was adaptation. The crest, she claimed, granted panoramic oversight. Rearward, endless grains. Eastward, the watering hot they neared. Westward, the outpost. Northward, rugged lands and grottos where rebels shuttled goods. She'd committed every trait to memory, every viable firing spot, every ingress and exit route. This was day 3 in C2. She'd packed hydration for 7, munitions for unreported contingencies. Her gear was sparse. Weapon, rounds, fluids, nutrient slabs tasting of paste, a palm-sized solar unit, no canopy, no bedding. Nights plunged to icy thresholds, endured sans flame or cover that risked traces. Days crushed with warmth, but stirring invited spotting. She stayed immobile for stretches, her frame acclimatized to rigid mastery. The fighters below ignored her existence. Headquarters withheld announcements of precision shooters in sentinel roles. It risked mission integrity and bred reliance. Better to foster self-reliance in units. She served as a safeguard, not support. But safeguards functioned best dormant until vital. The rebels had eyed the group's ingress from concealed vantages. They mastered forbearance, honed by clashing superior arms with scarce means. They struck not at anticipated points. They hit where assurance dwelt, where drills grew habitual, where foes' vigilance dipped by slivers that separated existence from oblivion. 3 kilometers east, within a labyrinth of tunnels honeycombing the stone beneath the dunes, a figure named Rashid examined a sketch. The drawing was manual, refreshed via spotter inputs. It detailed hydration points, scout paths, strongholds, data amassed over moons. He was 42, once a builder who pivoted to resistance after his hamlet vanished in stray fire. The invaders termed it incidental harm. He labeled it slaughter. He bore no personal grudge against the troops. Many were youths obeying directives. He hated the mechanisms, the unmanned flyers, the orbitals rendering his soil exposed, while controllers hid behind displays continents distant. The imbalance, the inequity. "They'll hit the watering hole in 30, stated his deputy, a 26-year-old named Farid, schooled in Damascus pre-conflicts. "In same ingress as prior group," Rashid inclined his head, assessing landforms. "Then they're unlearning or deem their gadgets render patterns moot. Position the observers. When they pause for drink, when vigilance wanes, we strike." His scheme was refined. Permit them to arrive at the spot. Allow unwind. Foster belief in eased peril. Then from triple vectors, crossed barrages. Not for victory. They couldn't prevail against elite prep and tools. To drain. To render each scout expensive. Morph routine probes into weighted gambles.
What Rashid overlooked was the female on the crest. She detected them pre-motion. Not optically, they were too disciplined, but via motif discernment. Avians that ought to perch instead fled. A warmth ripple defying gusts, grains cascading against physics, trivial cues unseen by typical watchers. She tuned her lens, probing probable spots. There, a dip in boulders 600 meters south of the watering hole, ideal for flanking volleys. She flagged it inwardly, noting span, breeze tweak, acquisition duration. Then she pinpointed the second perch, northwest, elevated, warmth trace scarcely distinct from ambient stone. That was the coordinator. He'd direct, synchronize the assault, prime mark. The third took more time. It was roving, leveraging land to veil transit, but transit forged motifs, and motifs were markers. She followed it amid swirling thermals, projecting its likely endpoint. When the assailant settled, he'd be 740 meters from her lair. Extended reach, challenging yet feasible. She verified her stock. 20 in the clip, 1 chambered, 40 spare. She wouldn't expend half. Derek's squad arrived at the watering hole at 1340 hours local. The liquid was salty but potable post-purification. They formed a boundary while Nathan and Pear replenished vessels. Routine. All eased imperceptibly. Postures loosening, armament handling easing from keen to adequate. Innate response. Forms couldn't sustain apex vigilance eternally. Even drilled warriors faced the bodily dip from fleeting security. Marcus chuckled at James's quip. The noise echoed over the sands, crisp in the midday air. In her burrow, she stiffened. Mirth was reckless. It forged sonic markers, pinpointed spots, broadcast assurance foes could leverage. Audio in the wastes deceived. It might span kilometers in calm or vanish into dunes. Currently, with scant breeze, that mirth was a signal. But she couldn't violate calm's blackout to alert. Her duty was surveillance and intrusion, not oversight. The squad possessed its chain. She dwelled in interstices, evidenced solely via outcomes. The initial assailant entrenched. Through optics she viewed him plainly now, flat behind stone cluster, firearm steadied on legs. His intake regulated, skilled, not mere opportunist, but honed talent. He donned a dune-hued wrap merging flawlessly with ground. His arm, vintage Dragunov, dependable and precise here. He targeted Nathan, exposed by the pool, sling loose while pumping filter. She computed breeze, 3 knots westward, heat 41 degrees Celsius spawning heavy distortion. The ripple alone would derail most marksmen. It fabricated motion, muddled range gauging. Span 612 meters, height plus 43 meters, implying downward tilt impacting path. The projectile would fall roughly 32 inches afar, veer 6 inches starboard from draft. She compensated elevation hold, factoring incline and warmth's density drop. Heated air thinned, resisted less, sped slug marginally, lessened a drop. Slight variances, but at 600, variances ruled. Her digit located the release. Inhale mastery, beats intershot. She awaited draft lull, pulse sinking for flawless steadiness. The rebel adjusted, prepping discharge. She pressed. The arm's echo was engulfed by abrupt gale surging over hills. Muzzle damper trace, but Gale's timely howl rendered the volley truly concealed. 600 meters distant, the rebel's arm lurched as impact hit its core, not the wielder. She'd targeted the tool, not flesh. Neutralizing strikes hushed versus terminal ones. A disarmed figure retreats, reforms, relays. A corpse sparks probes, reprisals, intensifications. The rebel scrambled rearward, baffled, hunting origin. His tool wrecked, mechanism fractured. He eyed skies for flyers, then nearby stones. Void. He gestured comrades and pulled back. At the pool, Derek rigidified. He'd caught a noise. Not a blast, Gale masked, but an odd clang. Metal clash, fleeting, remote. Arms ready, he commanded. Potential threat. The squad snapped, dispersing to defenses, sweeping zones, yet nothing visible. No flash, no stir. The wastes, vacant. Post 2 minutes quiet, Nathan ventured. Perhaps Gale struck debris, scrap. Derek doubted, sans proof. Remain alert, depart in 5. They concluded hydration with arms primed Sand's assault. As they advanced, array compacted, vigilance amplified. They ignored who'd preserved Nathan's existence. The second perch complicated. The coordinator witnessed ally withdraw and now panned optics over Vista, seeking dangers. He excelled. His sweeps systematic, layered,
snag motion, but he hunted tangible foes, crafts, flyers, troops, not phantoms. She stayed static as his lenses crossed her twice, her lair flawless, fusing with innate shades and grains of the crest, even warmth scans strained. She'd sighted where stones soaked and emitted heat matching her form, yielding no standout mark. The squad veered northeast from pool, per itinerary, toward outpost. Positive. That distanced them from prime intersect zone, but coordinator summoned backups. She observed him on wireless, pointing poolward, orchestrating. 4 fresh signals emerged afar. They progressed with terrain savvy, exploiting gullies and dips to cloak. They flanked the squad, aiming to outpace for trap at next bottleneck. Tight corridor amid dual stones, 300 meters from outpost. She projected. If squad kept tempo, pass in 14 minutes. Trap crew positioned in 10. 4-minute window, ample for rebels to embed. Steady breaths, attain poise for true aim. She couldn't signal Sand's exposing lair. Wireless emission detectable, located. Even coded pulses left imprints. Her obscurity their barrier, solely if sustained. Thus she revised tactic. The roving assailant earlier tracked, now fixed, nestled behind protrusion overlooking corridor. He claimed vantage, open lane, oblivious to scrutiny. She gauged 740 meters, anticipated volley. She bided. The squad neared. Derek's hunch solid. He decelerated array, dispatched James to probe corridor. But quartet versus lone scout, even adept, massacre. The rebel behind bulge steadied arm, trailing James via lens, digit to release. She discharged prior, this instance for impact. Slug struck stone 2 inches from rebel's crown, splintering rock, peppering visage with shards. Non-fatal, yet alarming. He recoiled, forfeited spot, rolled downslope in alarm. The rebound cracked distinct, resonating off walls. James detected and flattened, probing threats. Derek retracted squad, leveraging land as shield. The rebel crew dispersed, 1 volley, Sand's traceable origin, and trap undone. They faded into scenery with honed skill. Derek's comms fist. Reaper 16, headquarters. Detected arms discharge near your coords. Status. Headquarters, Reaper 16. No adversary engagement. Likely rebound. Source unclear. Advancing cautiously. Acknowledged. Report developments. The squad traversed corridor warily, arms set, yet discovered zilch. No hulls, no remains, no proof of thwarted strikes seconds from launch. Desert climb flipped abruptly, the steady draft morphed to blasts, then constant push bending shrubs flat. In 20 minutes, sight dropped from kilometers to paces. Grains saturated air in tan veil obliterating markers, bearings, surety. Heavens tinted ochre, orb a faint circle, scarcely piercing churn. Derek decided swift. Reaper 16 to units, return to origin, cohesive. But cohesion in grain tempest theoretical. Gale screamed 40 knots, dispersing shouts from reach. Positioning degraded as particles jammed orbital links. Squad huddled, linking gear via cords. Paraline fastened to carriers, yet forms vanished in vortex. Sight to under 5 meters. Men strides away spectral. Grains invaded crevices, assaulted vision, mouths, mechanisms. Inhalation demanded fabric veil and gritted intake. She eyed tempest ingress from height. Minutes pre-impact. She utilized to note squad's final spot, project path per drills and memorized features. The hollow they'd sought initial refuge. Thence, compass navigation, incremental shifts, but storm disorients. Even vets forfeit orientation in null sight. Then tempest struck crest, her realm brown turmoil. Typical watchers would have fled perch, hunted refuge, awaited calm. But refuge meant shift. Shift meant awareness loss. She drilled for this.
In Wyoming, they'd encased trainees in drifts for 72-hour vigils. In Arizona, amid dust veils eclipsing day. This mere factor. She capped lens, guarded arms function, leaned on alternates. Audio prime. Storm forged baseline din, yet attuned ears parsed deviations, utterances, transit, arms discharge. Rebels exploited storm as veil. Naturally, they grasped land, knew tempest's chances. She detected them nearer, storm boldened. Squad located hollow, sheltering, yet spot breached. Rebels trailed, approaching dual flanks. In null sight, strike intimate, conclusive. She opted protocol breach.
Discharged 3 slugs, 5-second gaps, into grains 30 meters from squad, not at marks, at soil. Noise would pierce gale, distinct from organic. Pattern, 3 volleys, timed. Derek caught them, grasped instant. Trio spaced a cue, someone external, alerting. Shift, northeast immediate. Squad stumbled sightless, trusting dial, prep, and anonymous cue. They lumbered via grains, sustaining link via chords and faith. Rearward, rebels hit hollow empty, missed by moments. Storm dissipated hour later, squad 2 kilometers from refuge. Drained, lost, yet intact. They'd wielded storm veil to sever, evade overwhelming trap. Derek gazed wastes. Somewhere in expanse someone signaled. Someone knew positions, foe spots, intervened sans self-reveal. "Who's damn out there?" James queried. Derek shook. No reply. At origin, Derek logged account. Debrief stressed tempest, gear wear, evasion success, but he appended anomalies. Wrecked arm at pool, rebound at corridor, alerts amid storm. Intel lead, Captain Laura Brennan perused twice, implying tail. Not tail, overwatch, shielding, perhaps hours undisclosed. No comms, no visual. Laura accessed orbital shots, but storm veiled key spans. Warmth scans showed signatures aligning squad and potential foes, sans definitive. No proof, no allied sentinel in zone. She sealed log, escalated. Higher access could opt acknowledgment or mute. Amid squad, theories abounded. Nathan posited AI flyer. James figured elite, delta, or seal concurrent. Marcus posed eerie, watcher sans credit, beyond standard hierarchy. Why? Nathan pressed. Visibility makes target, Marcus stated. Derek heard, silent. He sensed what evaded others. External savior, multiple sans acclaim. That detachment, security level hinted prep and drive surpassing usual elites. It hinted perpetual obscurity choice. Next scout, 48 hours post. Derek scanned crests anew, hunting odd forms, ideal overlooks. Found not, meaning she excelled still. Desert Eve, another realm. Heat dove from 42 to chill in spans. Draft faded, noise spanned kilometers in hush. Stars layered, radiant, casting shades. Galactic band overhead, luminous stream. Stunning, deadly. Chill lethal as blaze. Clarity aiding threat view also aided threats viewing you. Night gear aided, yet flattened depth. Greened world hiding as revealing. Squad set defense for dark. Stone bulge offering shield, height, full arcs. Solid oversight. Rotated vigil 2 hour, warmth lenses sweeping gloom from misplaced warmth. Derek held midnight 2, sped auditory over visual. In quiet ears snagged transit, eyes missed. Cloth scrape on stone, arm click prepped, intake of 1 straining stillness. At 0130 he caught. Odd noise, not draft, not grains settling, not nocturnal critters. Metal, brief, managed, arm check, action prep. He engaged night view, swept origin sector, nil yet presence external, disciplined matching. Then muzzle spark, 800 meters northeast, fleeting, extinguished pre-register, soul volley. He traced path to unscouted spot, morning pass. Potential northeast, he murmured comms. Single discharge, source approx 800. Squad roused. Arms aimed, sans sequel, no extras, no stir. 5 minutes post, Derek's comms priority from headquarters. Reaper 16, note, orbital warmth caught signature on projected path 0700 area. Signature neutralized 2 minutes prior. Origin unclear. Derek comprehended. Ambush awaited route. Another erased pre-arrival. Midnight, 800 meters dark. Conditions deterring snipers. Headquarters, Reaper 16, detected volley. No shooter visual. Acknowledged, proceed plan. Note, unseen resources may operate zone.
Unseen resources, formal nod in ambiguity. Headquarters knew, suspected, withheld. Derek eyed gloom, pondering audibility. If external, he murmured, self/night. Gratitude, no reply, unanticipated. Outpost final near dawn. Orb ascended swift, sky violet, orange, white minutes. Squad cleared structure, chamber. Vacant per intel, deserted moons prior, looted. Yet structure secondary, proved access secure, presence, deny foe mobility. Each triumph altered equation, eased successors. Derek roofed outpost, surveyed crossed land. 3 days, evaded, prevented clashes, nil losses, metric success. Reaper 1-6, headquarters, target held, nil.
Engagement. Suggest permanent base. Acknowledged. Hold for reinforcements. Arrival 6 hours. He faced squad. Weary, content. Job done. Survived initial hostile. Ignored aid quantum. 600 meters distant, she dismantled lair. Orb rising. Warmth traces unreliable soon. Relocate. 4 days held. Exceeding advice. Mission dictated. Buried refuse. Scattered grains over spot. Trace erasure. 3 days. Draft would level subtle dip. Wastes ideal partner. Swallowed proof. Guarded mysteries. Disclosed not. Next perch pre-chosen. 12 kilometers northwest. Another squad overwatch 72 hours. She'd trek. Shun paths. Contacts. Being. Pre-depart, she permitted moment overlook outpost. Roof troops conversing. Mirthful. Earned ease. Solid effort. Hoped name ignorance. Hope obscurity tied. Both faith unseen. Then pivoted, strode wastes, steps vanishing as morning draft commenced. 3 weeks post, Derek briefing chamber, intel breakdown casualties, space coffee dry, marker scented, walls mapped, zones colored threat-based, analyst, slim, Lieutenant Colonel Preston Hayes, tapped graph 6-month scout results. Zone 7, 92% endurance past half year, Hayes noted, laser dot, markedly above neighbors similar risk. Zone 6, 78%. Zone 8, 81%. Deviation notable for probe. Cause? Rear query. Hayes shrugged. Unclear. Ascribed enhanced drills. Superior data. Perhaps chance. Headquarters seeks tactics replicable. Laura Brennan eyed Derek cross-room. She knew, suspected, official chance remained so. Truth, invisible protector, certain zones, ops sensitive for briefings. Hard explain reports demanding attribution, sources. Post-brief, she drew Derek aside. Your invisible guardian log, sealed above my access. Implies high read, deemed sensitive, that's it. Derek nodded, grasped ceiling, security, need know, yet curiosity lingered. Think she's active? Laura faint smile, she hunch. If so, job discipline rare. Watch survival via unacknowledged work, strength unique. Derek unit return. 7 more Zone 7 scouts 2 months. Routine ops, clean, nil losses. End, troops quipped blessed, charmed, angel guarded. Not wholly errant. Classified site 7,000 miles, file refresh. Monitor 7 active, efficacy top, mental steady. Advice, sustain, assign, open term. Reviewer unmet Monitor 7. Under dozen new true name, most clearance barring chat. Legend some circles, phantom tale others. Unknown most she shielded, ideal. In the wastes swallowing names, burying pasts, she shifted perches, eyeing fresh squads, old perils. Sometimes discharged, often observed, presence deterring. Rebels learned zones hexed, strikes failed inexplicable, traps crumbled sans trigger, marksman spots breached unseen, ceased zone ops, unseen fear potent overseen. She shunned acclaim exposure, end. But clear eaves, draft-carrying audio dunes, she caught troops fire talk, tales guardian nowhere, spec who, appearance, motive, myth from endurance. Listened, conditions permit, odd solace, distant voices unnamed heritage. Motive plain, chose life interstices official ops, sacrifice self, ease, acclaim, normal defines for task. Task, endurance, not hers, theirs. Preserve troops unknowing name face, not hero, heroes named, faced, storied. Function, formula balancing force, precision, presence, absence, life, anonymity. In the wastes war math, that formula preserved.
6 months post Derek's initial, he advanced first sergeant, trained recruits, taught strategy, regimen, awareness, plus manual omitted. Wastes observe, told class, not sole foe. Forces unseen, uncomms, unmet. Reason endurance zones defy stats. Reason some family return. Who? Youth queried. Unknown. Evidence seen. Volleys empty spots. Foes withdraw sans cause. Traps fail pre-spring. Call chance. I call expertise beyond reach. Why no self-ID? ID makes target. Obscurity not tactic. Sacrifice. Forfeit a claim for our security. Youth unsatisfied. Derek prepped, not pleased. Years post. Zone 7 endurance anomalous. Theories, land edge, data superiority, foe weaken. None fully explain, but served troops home storied. Guardian's single discharge vanish. Angel crests unreachable. Phantom survival via perfect obscurity. Tales dismissed superstition some leads, others mute nod war, not all measurable or explainable. Deep wastes, brains erase steps, draft disperse utterances, she persisted. Fresh squads, threats, same task. Older, frame cumulative, prone hours, extremes -25 plus 50, isolation break most psyches. Joints pain chill, shoulders tense perpetual, eyes strained endless lens, track, angle, draft, measure. Yet skill honed time, forbearance meditative, dedication utter, refined years task overall. Ease, acclaim, human known need, became intent, guardian sans self, protector sans credit, warrior triumphs unseen battles, invisible force tipping odds endurance. When troops home safe, embrace kin, resume unbroken, bore unnamed debt, unmet soul, sufficient. End, obscurity not forgotten, remembered others' endurance, each intact squad, soldier age over youth end, family whole, her memorials, nameless, needless, wastes guarded mysteries, draft erased marks, men endured, silence measure, obscurity heritage. Somewhere uncharted crest, unsatellited spot, she tuned lens, prepped next task. Someone watch, wait, remain obscure so others visible. That someone, her.